Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be, what's up, baby? I got an email here from a viewer. And he says, hi, Coach. I hope all is going great with you. I met this woman who's a Jamaican, and she's a pastor that preaches at her church, and I'm a music director in my church. She gave me her number, and we started to text the following day, the whole day long. The phone is for setting dates. It's not for getting to know somebody. And if a girl says, hey, here's my number, give me a call, I would have made a date right on the spot. I was like, hey, let's get together for a drink sometime. When are you free? It could be coffee. It could be a cocktail. You don't have to drink alcohol all the time. That's what I would have done. But if you got her phone number, I would have texted her. Then you texted her the next day or a couple of days later. It doesn't really matter. Just say, hey, I want to know when you're free to get together for a drink, ? And send that to her. And she says, well, I don't drink. I was like, well, we can meet for coffee. When are you free? ? And send that back. Make a definite date. And then say, great. And then make a definite date where you both can meet out. And say, great, I'll see you then. He says, and we were going deep like sex indirectly. And she was saying that she don't have much experience with a man, but she has a lot of love to give. The reason she said that was that I said to her, when it comes to love, that I am passionate about it and that I like to give the woman I am with mentally and physical stimulation. So this tells me you started talking about sexual innuendo and you obviously weren't very good at it and you fumbled the football. That's why one of the reasons why I talk about my book. Guys that are just learning this stuff, it's better if you stay away from the sexual innuendo because you don't know when things are appropriate and when things are over the line. And this is a prime example. You get a guy, maybe he just found out about my work or whatever, and you start using sexual innuendo. Instead of it creating attraction, it ends up being a train wreck. So he says, but later that same evening, I texted her saying, what's up, baby? And she replied, I'm not your baby. So that tells me that you obviously pissed her off during your texting. It's like, what is the point of all this texting? Somewhere along the line, somebody told you or taught you that you need to text and send 1,000 texts because you figure, I got to get her to warm up to me and then I'll ask her out. Like, no, you cause a woman to fall in love with you in person, not through the text. I mean, think about this. 100 years ago or 120 years ago, before we had the telephone, what happened? You've heard the term gentleman callers. Well, what would happen is if a guy liked a girl, usually you have small communities and they have events or functions, and so everybody that lives in the neighborhood and the community goes to town, they hang out. And you meet somebody, you meet her parents or whatever, and then so you're like, hey, I'd like to take you out sometime. And so what would happen? The guy would go over to the girl's house, meet the parents, and he would be the gentleman caller, would take her out to the town square, or they'd go out for ice cream or coffee, and what would they do? They would go and they would hang out and chit-chat and talk in person. Why? Well, there's no cell phones back then, there's no telephones back then, there's no internet back then. So the way that you cause somebody to fall in love with you is in person. But instead, these days people get lazy and they think that an electronic device should take the place of face-to-face interaction. It's completely the wrong way to go about it. So he says, I replied back to her saying, I'm sorry if that offends you. She replied saying, our friendship ends here. I found out that you are married. I am not a home wrecker, but a home builder. And that she said that I should seek some counseling about my marriage before I wreck somebody else's life. So at the end, I texted her saying that her sources are not accurate and I should have no idea what after marriage the hell my wife is giving me. But I got no reply from her, and that was yesterday. My question is, what the heck happened? Is there any way I don't know what to call this to get my ex back or getting her back in my life? She ended it with you, dude. You blew it. You fucked up. That's what happened. And it sounds like here that you're actually married. Maybe your marriage is on the rocks and you were looking to hook up and have an affair. But, or maybe you're not married. I don't know what happened. But what you said on the phone and in texting was inappropriate and it turned her off. And that's where you went wrong. So my advice to you would be to download and read my Kindle ebook. And next time around when a girl gives you her phone number, I would make a date right on the spot. But if that's a little too much to ask, if you're a little shy and you can't handle that, then call her the next day and find out, or a couple days later, whatever it happens to be, find out when she's free to get together for a drink. And then make definite plans and say, great, I'll see you then. That's all you got to do. But where you went wrong is you chit-chat on the phone too much, and you started using sexual innuendo. And the things that you said to me in your email that you were saying to this girl, this tells me you don't know how to flirt. You're not very good at it. And so keep it simple. Use the phone to arrange dates in person, because that way when you're there in person and you say something that's inappropriate, you'll see the reaction in her face. But in texting, you're saying all kinds of things that you're totally putting your foot in your mouth. But when you're doing that electronically, you can't read her body language. You can't hear the tone of her voice. You can't see her reaction. So you have no idea that you're turning this girl off. And so that's why it's better to meet in person and have a date, as opposed to, this is what a lot of guys do that are unsuccessful with women. They talk women right out of sleeping with them, and that's exactly what you did here. This girl liked you enough to give you her phone number without you even asking for it, and you talked her right out of sleeping with you because of you interacted with her in inappropriate ways. So read my book, and that will really help clear things up for you. So if you have a question you want to ask me, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab, which will be on the left-hand side of your screen, and send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max, and just give me several days to get back to you with the response. If you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session, and you can do that by going to my website, click the Products tab, which will be at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. If you want a digital version of my Kindle ebook, on my website, underneath the email sign-up box, is a box that has a link that will take you right to the Amazon Kindle download page for my book. Once you get there, if you don't have a Kindle device, just download one of their free e-reader apps for whatever electronic device you want to read my book on. And if you appreciate the value of the information I offer in this video newsletter, the articles on my website, or my ebook, you can show your appreciation right now by going to my website, and on the Wibia toolbar at the bottom of your screen, click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information. And I will talk to you soon.